This is the Tier 9 French Collector Heavy, the Lorraine 50-ton. It was considered to be a pretty rare vehicle at the time being upon its initial release as a part of the Black Friday event. It was the second vehicle as a part of the compensation to where you would have to buy bundles and gain coupons from them in order to get your hands on this vehicle. The only problem is that you would have to spend a lot of money in order to get your hands guaranteed on this vehicle. And we all know that sometimes Wargaming likes to announce to when a new tank is released. That's 6 months in advance. That's about the minimum, is when a tank will finally be released in crates. But surprisingly enough, they finally released this vehicle in crates to where you can either spend gold in order to test your luck, or you can spend your cold-hearted life savings, to which is exactly what I did. Luckily enough, I was able to pull this vehicle on my third crate. In terms of the physical stats of what's going for this vehicle, you can see that it has 250 mils of turret armor and 90 millimeters of frontal hull armor. And apart from the armor profile, this is what it looks like. On paper, you may think that the turret is actually quite insane, considering that you have a lot of troll bits in the upper 400 to 500s. But really the major downside is the full-on upper infrastructure and even the lower plate as well, having bits upwards of 160 to 140 millimeters thick, and then for the lower plate going for 220. When I load in my heats, it does open up a little bit of some spots right here on the turret, to which this little cheek right here is going to be 307, and then there's some tiny little spots that which if you wedge the shell right into the right spot, you're ordered to pen it. You also got a hatch on the roof as well, upwards of 196. So when this vehicle is behind a ridgeline using its flat ground capabilities, you can either pen the hatch, or you can either try to test your luck to attempt to pen these cheeks right here with your heat shells. And surprisingly enough, this vehicle does carry 10 degrees of gun depression, which means that it's going to be extremely flexible poking over those angular ridge lines, and it does make a little bit of a difference for the turret on the other hand. This cheek right here that was once vulnerable to be withstandable by heat shells on flat ground is no longer going to be possible, as it's going to be upwards of 323. Except if you have high calibered penetration values that exceed above 330 to 340 millimeters thick, then you're pretty much just going to have no trouble penning through this turret without a hassle in most regards. Some bits of the turret, however, if you do manage to hit it in the wrong spot, are thickened now to high 500s to even 300 and something in most cases. And then for the side of the vehicle, the side of the turret is upwards of 233 to 76, and the full-on side is upwards of 66 to 67. And then finally for the rear, the back of the turret is upwards of 64, and 79 accounts for the full-on backside where the engine deck is located. In terms of HE, 60 millimeters is not going to be enough in order to cut through the back of this thing. Like I said, got to have those high HE values that exceed above 70 to 80 millimeters thick in order to do the maximum amount of damage possible to this thing. Along with that, this vehicle carries almost 2,500 damage per minute with a solid 9.33 second reload time. I always gotta love the vehicles that have below a 10-second reload time. That's really the major factor when it comes to dealing with a lot of enemies that you could typically expect to outdo, or even some heavies in that regards, I should say. And in terms of the penetration, it's actually fairly solid for a Tier 9, having 267 on its standard, 362 on its premium, and 65 on the high explosive. And in terms of the average damage, pretty much the same to what accounts for something like an MBTB, having 380 on the standard, 320 on the premium, and 515 on the high explosive. Combined as well with a 3.9 second aiming time with a solid .277 dispersion. And finally, for the maneuverability, this vehicle goes 43 forward, 15 in reverse, and it has a power to weight of 16.7 along with that. This vehicle, I think, was introduced on PC, and I know for a fact that it is on console because I actually own the vehicle on console. Pretty much the same capabilities. However, this vehicle also does carry tungsten rounds associated with that as a special consumable. So basically what it means is that you can roll higher than your average damage output once you run that mechanic. Actually kind of crazy to even think about, so you can exceed your limits up to about 450 average for something like this. Alrighty, so making our way into game number 1, we got 3 Destinies, of course, because that is a vehicle that you can get for free, as apart from Season 6 release. They also have an IS-3, interestingly enough. Alright, so let us see how we can fare well apart from this. I always like to go over to the middle side right over here. I don't know why my teammate's telling me to fall back. I'm meant to be using gun depression. Okay, Panther. Thanks for the love tap, I guess. Alright, so let's go ahead and mosey on through right around over here and see what we can do. Looks like I got some bit of support upon the other side, but It's just a matter of time seeing where the enemies are possibly going to poke themselves, like this IS-3 right here. That is fairly interesting that we managed to bounce that. Oh my goodness, bro. Alright, well the IS-3 is going to make a very aggressive maneuver. The thing about him is that he doesn't honestly know what gun depression is. But there's a nice tap into his hatch for 334. We're going to reload again, and he's probably going to bounce my turret because he has nowhere to peck my turret in terms of that. So unfortunate apart from his behalf. Let's get another tap for 368. Don't honestly feel like running my tungsten at the moment, so... Alrighty then, so it looks like he's going to mosey on back just for the time being. I'm going to play a little bit passive on this one, as I do know that, I think some of their other vehicles would possibly be lurking off to the side. Well, this IS-3 is backing on up. And we get a nice tap for 395. He unfortunately hits my gun mantlet. Surprisingly enough, he was able to see that. Alright, so we're going to reload again. We're going to head over towards this enemy IS-3 right over here. Oh, we also got the enemy Destiny off to the side. Don't have bits of gun depression to hit that, but that's totally alright. So we're going to go ahead onto this Destiny and get a nice tap for 299. Wow, that was a low roll. Alright, but that's totally alright, as we did manage to get a nice tap into him. Alright, it looks like he's going to be coming on up now, so I'm going to see if I can try to maybe bait another shell from him again. Or just hit him right in his underside of his turret cheek right there for 333. Alright, so reloading again. You can already see the fairly solid accuracy levels of this thing pretty much. So, let's go ahead and peck your lower plate for 391. And then we head back into our gun depression spot. So this guy's going to have a little bit of trouble trying to deal with me in the process. Yep, another bounce. You can already see that the turret is already doing its job fairly solidly. I don't know what this Destiny is doing. He really wants me so bad. So we're just going to go ahead and play some gunsies with him at the moment. Unfortunately, okay, never mind. Well, alright, nice clear into you, and now the IS-3 wants a piece of some too. So you know what, buddy? I'm just going to go ahead and run my tungsten just for good measure, and we're going to get a nice slap for 447 into the side of your vehicle. Alright, so now that we know for a fact that the enemies are not really pushing on over towards the side, it gives us the opportunity to mosey right on through and get the finishing clear into that IS-3. Beautiful demonstration apart from that. Alright, let's go ahead and mosey back on up over here and deal with the remaining enemies. They have a Destiny, a T-49, and a Yad Tiger in terms of that. Alright, looks like we got the enemy T-49 coming on through as well. Not able to spot him at the time being, but let's go ahead and continue moseying on through. Alright, looks like this guy is going to be a little bit of a problem by the looks of it. So I'm assuming he's possibly going to go this way. By the looks of it. I don't know if he's going to bait me or something like that. Oh, never mind. He's going all the way in the back. Interesting. Okay. Alright. Well, my team's taking care of the yachts. Actually, I can't spot him from here. Can we actually get that shot out? Oh, I was going to say. Alright. That's alright, though. Well, now we got to deal with the T-49, who's just basically going to be a little pest running around the whole entire map. So, I'm going to go right back into my favorite spot over here and see how we can do. Capabilities of this tank is actually pretty solid as well. Accuracy levels are fairly good, I should say. Turret's actually really strong. That's a good thing as well. Keep in mind. Alright, we got the T-49. There he is spotted off in the back. So let's just go ahead and mosey on over. See if we can maybe get some nice AG taps into his vehicle. That is something I would really like to do. I don't know if he's going to go all the way over there or if he's going to go back this way. It looks like that he's going, yep, he's going back this way. Alright, interesting. So we're going to plop on our tungsten for the time being, and then we're going to wait for this guy to maybe poke on out, which it looks like is going to be the case. 612. That's a fairly solid roll right there. Alright, so now this guy is coming in hot. So, let's go ahead and get another, 575 tap into this vehicle. Oh my gosh, what an insta-farm apart from our behalf. That is 4,500 insta-damage right there. I don't know if we aced it just because of the fact that I know a lot of people are playing this vehicle apart from that. Yeah, that was only a first class. I figured as... still, a lot of people think that this tank is relevant nowadays. And now that it's being sold in crates, it's going to be given a lot more attention. That's going to put us top on the team in that regards. Fairly solid performance for this vehicle. Alrighty, let's go ahead and plop on into game number 2, see how we can fare well. So yeah, pretty much the only thing that's reliant apart from this vehicle is the strong turret that it features. Using your gun depression, tier 8s, tier 9s, or the majority of other tier 9s are going to have a lot of trouble trying to pen this turret. On console, it's basically the same thing. I think the vehicle also has a degree more of gun depression, or it might have the same levels of turret armor, same levels of average damage output, just a lot of great things that occur within this vehicle, for that matter of fact. It's actually pretty maneuverable as well. However, on hills is where this thing is pretty much going to struggle. So yeah, let's go ahead and plop on into game number 2 then and see how we can fare well till then. Of course, we love my luck with the long queue wait time, so here we are finally in game number 2, 5 billion years later. In terms of their heavies, they have another Lorraine. I figured I would see another one along these lines. Alright, so let's go ahead and plop our way over here. I always like to go downhill on Canal, pretty much, for the time being. Especially because I like to pack vehicles off that are pushing on through over here, or at least trying to. So we got the Forgetto. Of course, my luck, apart from that shot, didn't really fare well to the best of that. So we're just going to sit right here for the time being. I don't know if the Prague is going to continue moseying on up, but it's probably going to give me another opportunity to get a nice tap into the side of his turret once again. Oh, here he comes. Beautiful. There we go. 396. Good way to make up for that first mishap shot. All right. Reloading again. We got the Rev off into the back. I don't know if they have anything else that's lurking behind that home right there. All right. So, as we are waiting at the moment. All right. So, I guess there's really nobody else that's lurking off to the back. Oh, the Rev is actually going to move on upwards, surprisingly enough, by the looks of it. Oh, we got the T-77 right over there. All right, let's see. Is that Rev going to move? Yep, he does. All right, let's go ahead. Oh, my God, bro. Are you serious? All right, well, that was unfortunate. I should have been able to pluck him for once. Okay, well, anyways, let's just go ahead and back on up. That's a waste of tungsten, I'm not going to lie. We got the T-77 off to the side. Let's just go ahead and see if I can maybe pluck this guy for once. If he does decide to poke, which unfortunately he's not going to. We also got the Rev moving on up. Let's see if we can maybe get a tap into his vehicle once he moseys on forward. There we go. 424 shot. Another fairly solid example of making up for your misdemeanors. Alright, T-77 is now spotted. Let's go ahead and see. Just barely missing the side of his vehicle. That's unfortunate. Alright, so let's go ahead, and we also got the enemy Lorraine right over here. Looks like we can't spot him. Alright, and we also got the T-26E4. Let's go ahead and pluck your turret once. That's the fairly solid heat pen that contributes towards this vehicle. Alright, so we got the 112 Glacial. Let's go ahead and get a nice solid tap into his vehicle once he makes fully expose his lower plate. There we go. Nice tap into you. And now I'm basically in a situation where I have to hold 3 vehicles off. And my team is not really faring out well. Alright, we got the T-26, and this guy makes a dire mispoke. I don't even know why. So then I'm just going to rely on taking care of this enemy T-26E4. The Lorraine's not spotting me right now, so that's a good sign right there. Let's go ahead and pluck your hatch then for 396. Let's go ahead and get into a face hug with you. I don't know if this Lorraine's going to come on down at the last second, which is totally alright. So let's go ahead. You angle your side, and unfortunately, you managed to get cleared apart from my behalf. Alright. Let's just go ahead and mosey on up over here. Oh, there comes the enemy Lorraine. He wants me so bad, unfortunately enough. Alright, let's plop on our tungsten. Are you freaking serious, bro? That is crazy. Alright, so I'm just going to go ahead and mosey my way out over here. This guy doesn't have the maneuverability factors to keep up with me, surprisingly enough. So let's just go ahead and wait. Oh, he does get cleared apart from that. Oh, which gives me the opportunity to get a firing shot in on him. Are you freaking serious, game? Oh my gosh. Well, I might be cleared here. I don't know. 3, 2, 1. Oh, he does pen me. Oh, I'm getting bounces, surprisingly enough. Alright, so reloading again. 3, 2, 1. Oh, it's probably not going to make a difference whatsoever, as I might be cleared. Yep, that's the unfortunate part of not having a team that can really support you to the best of its ability, and especially when it accounts for them sitting in the back of the map and not planting themselves in the proper position. 27-16 in this one. I guarantee I did top on the team, which of course I did. I mean, just look at the freaking results, bro. I mean, this team was terrible. Let's take a look at the stats of these players. 53%, 50%, 59%. Wow, these are actually not terrible players. They're all 50%ers. Well, except for 2. I mean, it's the ones that do the lowest damage, but that's what you could typically expect. And knowing my luck, I'm pretty much going to be doing videos now where I win one, lose one, and then it's either a win or loss, 50-50 for the last one. I don't really know why Wargaming loves to screw my RNG at times, especially when it takes forever for me to wait into a queue system to where it randomly matches me up with possibly the worst players. I did a live stream prior to yesterday as I'm recording this video as well. Pretty much my queue times were exceeding like at least 45 to 50 minutes, which is absolutely crazy. I mean, I can't complain. I really like this vehicle already. This is actually surprising me enough. That was my first 2 battles in the vehicle, and my first one I actually did really well. The second one, That's where it kind of fell apart just a little bit. But we're just going to have to wait and see how we can fare well in game number 3. Of course, the queue time is going to take longer than expected once again. So I'll catch you guys till then. Well, finally, we plop on into our 3rd game, finally. And in terms of their heavies, they have another Destiny. They have an M5 Yo and a Luva, along with a Scepter and a Skoda T27. That seems like a fairly interesting lineup, so let's just go ahead and see how we can fare well apart from this one. On Normandy, I usually like to go to the far right side in a heavy, or I usually like to go, and if I'm in a tank with gun depression, I like to go towards mid. But for the purpose of this battle, I see that I have a lot of my team going this way, so that is exactly what I'm going to do, alright? I usually like to poke beyond this ridgeline right over here, which is actually a really solid spot. So, let's continue moseying on forward right over here. We got the enemy Destiny spotted. He's angling aside. 347 tap into his vehicle. Alrighty. Let's go ahead and reload again. That's the beauty of having solid turret armor at that. Alright. Let's see if we can maybe pluck him right through the home. Unfortunately not, but it looks like he might be showcasing himself. We got the Luva off to the side. Let's get a quick slap for 396. Alright. Reloading again. Looks like the majority of their team is over here as well, which is actually quite interesting. So that means we can get like an insta farm fest coming from these enemies. We got the Luva once again. Nice tap for 379. He misses his shell. Unfortunate part from his behalf. Alright, reloading again. Let's maybe go ahead and maybe see if this Luva's going to poke again. Unfortunately not. We got the Destiny off to the side. Looks like he's going to continue moving on forward. Let's go ahead and get a quick pluck into you. And he tries to AG me, but messes it up, unfortunately enough. Oh, we got the 704. Oh, he's eyeballing me. It looks like I am in quite the predicament right here. So let's go ahead and see if we can maybe get another slap into this Destiny right there. There we go. 440. He does miss his shell, unfortunately, apart from his behalf, too. Alright, so reloading once again. Looks like the Luva might be out in the open. Nope, he is not. Alright. So I'm going to go ahead and finish up. Oh, never mind. There's the Luva right there. 466. Oh my gosh. Alright. So now I'm going to mosey on right over there. I can honestly care less if he gets that HE shell out. But I need to get into a spot to where I can most certainly get at least one tap into his vehicle right there. There we go. 320. Nice shot. Alright, so reloading again. Let's just go ahead. Oh, yep, he messed up the HE again. So now it's going to give me the opportunity to mosey on up and get the clear into his vehicle. Just like that. There we go. Alright, we got the 704 directly right behind us. So, alright, I'm actually going to continue moving on forward. I think that would possibly be the best scenario apart from that. We got the Skoda T27. We get a nice clear into you. We also got the Scepter off to the back. Not really concerned about him. Oh, we got the Luva right off to the side. Let's go ahead and quickly get a finishing clear into you. And now the Object and the Scepter are going to frick my butt up. Alright, so I do not want to get plucked by a 704 today, so let's just go ahead and continue moving on. Oh. Of course. Yep, where's my team? Of course, these guys did absolutely nothing to help me. Well, they were dealing with a Yo off in the back, but that's totally alright. We are going to win this game anyways. But, like I said before, you want to play this thing passive-aggressive and basically rely on your turret armor to do the job for you. And apart from that, if you have a full team that's sending you, is where this vehicle is pretty much going to fall apart. So, something to keep in mind is pretty much just rely on a ridgeline, as apart from a flat ground ridgeline, anything like that, and you'll pretty much get the job well done as apart from that. Of course, though, if you do have a team of bots that don't even know what the heck they're doing, that's what happens to you. Well, unfortunately, we were able to lose this one. We still did 3,000 damage. Pretty solid result just by farming the majority of enemies out in the open. And, of course, we were able to do top on the team once again. Especially when you have a WZ-114 that has no support to you whatsoever. It basically has stats like this. You already know that he's pretty much a bot in terms of that. But in terms of the Lorraine 50-ton, expect to win a lot more vehicles than me. I just have the worst luck in this game. This is a pretty solid vehicle, and it is pretty much going on for a pretty reasonable price in the crates. Probably recommend to get this for a steal price, or you could use your gold, pretty much whichever route that you want to say. It's a fun vehicle to use. I really like it, as those were actually my first 3 battles I played in the vehicle. And if I could show you proof right here, victory right here, 45-82, 27-16, and 31-32. And as apart from my tank's behalf, yep, that is 3 battles, 34% unfortunately enough. 3,400 average though, that's actually quite solid to even think about in terms of that. So hopefully you guys did end up enjoying today's video, and if you did, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. And make sure to turn on those bell notifications while you're at it so you do not miss out on any new videos. And I hope to see you guys in the next one. Peace out, y'all.